Hey everybody, welcome to Local Business Hacks Podcast. I'm your host, Carl Case, and I'm on a mission to help you. Every week, we're going to be talking to local business owners and experts to get their best tips, tricks, and hacks to grow your business. This show is designed to teach you, inspire you, and motivate you to take massive action and start to build your future-proof business. Whether you're just starting off or you're taking your existing business to the next level, this episode is for you. So let's get started. Hey, local business hackers. I'm your host, Director of Global Business Development at Referrizer, joined today by a super special, badass guest, Lisa Druxman, founder of FIT4MOM. Lisa, welcome to Local Business Hacks.
Woohoo! I'm just excited to be talking to you. You've got the best energy, Carl. Excited to be here.
Thank you. So I'm familiar with FIT4MOM, but those of you that are listening that aren't, Lisa has built a powerhouse of a brand, and I can imagine it's been quite the journey to get to this point. So let's talk a little personal. What got you to this point in your life?
Wow. Well, it's been 22 years this August. It's just crazy. I feel like I started it yesterday, but it's been 22 years. It started as stroller strides. So if you've ever seen a brigade of women pushing strollers and working out, that is our flagship program. And that was literally one of those light bulb aha ideas without a business plan. I was a brand new mom on maternity leave. I wasn't looking to start a business. I was looking for community. I had so many questions about motherhood, and I was a fitness professional. So I figured, hey, I can help these moms get back in shape after having a baby, and they can help me with everything I need to know about motherhood. And so I started stroller strides in my local neighborhood. I started with 4 moms. And apparently I wasn't the only one looking for that, because it took off as a business, not as a hobby. So I didn't have to go back to work after that maternity leave. And we opened 12 class locations in that first year in San Diego. We had 1,000 moms participating, and it was crazy and amazing. And gosh, I've worked in the fitness industry for over 30 years, just to age myself. And it was the most rewarding thing I've ever done. And so I wanted to share it. And we started getting requests from all over the country from women who wanted to start classes or join classes. Now, I want you to realize this is before all the cool stuff Referrizer has. This is before social media. This is before Facebook. This is pure word of mom. We started getting requests from all over the country from women who wanted to join classes, start classes. I would get emails from women. And so long story short, we ended up franchising the business. So here we are 22 years later. We are now FIT4MOM because we are fitness for every stage of motherhood. So we have Fit for Baby, Stroller Strides, Stroller Bar, Strides 360, Body Ignite, Body Well, Run Club, and more. So we really are fitness and wellness for all stages of motherhood. We have about over 200 franchisees, 1,500 instructors across the country, and continuing to grow after, this post-pandemic world.
Holy moly, Lisa, congrats to you and the whole team behind you that it's gotten FIT4MOM to this point. Wow. You started going over my next question, which is, what is the brand and how can people get involved? Obviously, you're taking over this space. So how can people get involved, either from a franchising perspective or from just getting active with the brand?
Yeah, so we have lots of ways for you to get involved. So it's FIT4MOM, fit the number 4, mom.com. And we would love for you to get involved as a client, as an instructor. Our franchisees are always looking for great instructors. So if you have a passion for fitness and motherhood, and as a franchisee. And what's different about our business compared to most fitness franchises out there was I did design this to be a low-cost turnkey business for moms. So whereas other franchises might be $70,000, ours are $7,000. It is very often a part-time business for a lot of our franchisees. And I say that often because we have lots of franchisees who work full-time in the business. And like anything else, you get what you put into it. But most of our moms buy it because they want to integrate work with motherhood. And actually, I'm going to have a special just for your listeners. So if you go to fit4mom.com/podcast, we will give you some special links to put in your show notes. So if you want to do any of our virtual classes, we have FIT4MOM on demand, or you can get a free week of classes at any location near you. So would love to get your listeners involved if we are the right fit for you.
I love that. Lisa, getting right into things, we are local business hacks. And I can't believe that you've been in this industry for 30 years. Those of you listening need to get on YouTube and see how there's no...
There's a Zoom filter.
Whatever you're doing is working, so don't change it. But I can imagine that over the last 30 years, you've had quite the tools that you've put in your toolkit that have taught you lessons that you'd hate for other people to have to learn if you could prevent them from that. So I welcome you to share some of these stories that ultimately shaped this kit of success.
Yeah. So really all of the tips that I originally had are all grassroots, if you want to call it that, guerrilla marketing, if you want to call it that, because I, as a new business owner, didn't have a lot of money to spend on advertising. Again, the Facebook advertising and all the cool things that exist now did not exist. So we just had to figure out, how do you spread word of mom? And so we did that boots on the ground, just as far as like anywhere that moms would shop, anywhere that moms would hang, you're always talking about Fit for Mom. So if you go to your YouTube, you see I'm wearing a Fit for Mom shirt. Like we tell our franchisees, like you're always wearing the gear, because it doesn't matter if you're at the checkout in the market, someone's going to go, what's Fit for Mom? And they might not be a mom, but they have a sister, a cousin, or a friend, and they'll spread the word. We also just really realized the power of our moms and when are they excited. And it's funny because I think a lot of the things I'm going to say, you're going to tell me can now be maximized with the software. So if you have a brand new mom who comes to class, we would ask her right away. I mean, we would at least have email, right? So we didn't have all the automations we do now, but at least have email. And so you would say, hey, how did you like class? On a scale from 1 to 10, let us know. And so if they gave us a high score, we'd say, hey, will you give us a Google review? Will you give us a Facebook review, and make it really easy? And if they gave us a low score, which really very rarely happened, but if they gave us a low score, that's amazing too. So we can say, hey, what was not a fit for you? How can we improve? So that's how we would get the reviews and get the word spreading with new moms. With current moms, I mean, we actually still do this. So I still teach, believe it or not. I love fitness and I love teaching. So today's Monday. I taught at 6 a.m. I had a full class. I know they loved it. After a great class, you say, how did everybody like that? And it was, I loved it. Awesome. Get out that iPhone that you all have, or whatever smartphone you have. And will you do me a favor and write us a review? Because that's the best way to spread the word. So it's really figuring out how word of mom or word of your clients, how to spread that. We've always been very much about finding ambassadors of the program and how to reward them. Like if you've got a mom who's just constant, or any client who's talking about your program, deck them out and all the stuff, send them gift cards, thank them. I'm a parent, all right? I'm going to give you parenting advice and business advice. Reward the behavior you want to see repeated. Reward the behavior you want to see repeated. So I want her to keep talking about it. I want her to keep bringing friends. So I'm going to sure thank the heck out of her.
I love that. And it's a testament to the brand growing as rapidly as it has and infiltrating. How many moms have been in and out of the system?
You know, I wish that we had really good data, but I would say we have to have reached 1 million moms in 22 years. It's pretty crazy. It's
incredible.
Hundreds of thousands for sure.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And Lisa, the best way, once again, for people to get involved, fitformom.com.
Fitformom.com. Yep.
Love it. So we're going to transition into some of my magical questions that I got prepared for you.
Okay. I'm excited.
Knowing what you know now, for people that are listening that are trying to start their business, if you had $5,000 to spend to grow your business, how would you spend it?
I'm starting all over, like starting from scratch. Right now, how would I use $5,000?
Right now.
Wow. Well, I don't know. I do have a call with you tomorrow to talk about Referrizer. So it could be that. I think nowadays it would be thinking about, again, it's all about getting the word out there. So years ago, it might have been with a publicist, okay, doing PR. PR's changed a lot. So now it might be working with influencers, because you got to get the word out there. So having people who are maybe micro influencers, I'm not talking about Kim Kardashian, but a micro influencer, and getting her to try the program and to talk about it. It's just, you want to get the word out there as much as possible. And I think those things work better than just pure advertising.
Agreed.
So that might work.
And as far as looking back 30 years ago, or at least 21 years ago, when you started Fit for Mom, looking at this now evolved goddess of Lisa based off of where she was when you were like, okay, I'm starting this brand, we're stroller stride, we're doing this. What's one piece of advice that, you know, you wish that you knew 20 years ago?
Do what you love and do what you're good at, and bring a team along to do the rest. As a solopreneur, it makes sense you do all the things, but you start to have this belief that only you can do the things. And the thing is, if I kept doing all the things, we would never have left San Diego. We are a franchise with hundreds of franchisees and thousands of instructors because I have an incredible team. So I love the 4 lists where you go, what are you good at? What do you love to do? What are you not good at? What do you not love to do? And like literally, if you're not sure, then just for a week, every time you're doing a task, drop what you do in those buckets. And I really designed the business so that I do what I love to do and what I'm good at. I love doing interviews like this. I love writing books. I love speaking. I love just sharing the Fit4Mom gospel. But I don't let me do like spreadsheets and administrative stuff and very detailed tasks. Those should be done by someone else who loves to do that. And there always is someone who loves to do it. Yeah. So yeah, I'd say don't hold on to things too long. I may have lots of other things too, but that's what jumped in my head first.
Thank you. And going back to grassroots. So obviously grassroots, in my opinion and yours, I believe, is the strongest form of marketing that we can form today. When we talk about partnerships, is there a partnership that has been really beneficial for Fit4Mom that you never saw coming as far as the success that it's brought?
Yeah. So like outside partnerships beyond our moms, one of our best and most long-standing partnerships, and they'll be happy to hear me talk about it, as I'll send it to them, has been Bob Strollers. So Bob was the brand that I used as a new mom. I was really very serious about my research, knowing I was going to be pushing a lot of strollers, and fell in love with it. And we created a partnership, and that partnership has been 20 years now. Mm-hmm. And so when you look at thousands of Fit4Mom locations across the country, it looks like a Bob advertisement because we so love Bob and promote Bob that people are buying Bobs, to the point where some people go, do I have to have a Bob to go to Stroller Strides? You do not, but we just think they're great strollers. When we do marketing, when we do videos, Instagram reels, anything, we've always got Bob strollers highlighted. So that's where it's good for them. But for us, it's also been great because they have always referred people to us for a very, very long time. When you bought any kind of Bob stroller, it would come with a free week of classes in the stroller. So just figuring out ways that you can make it a win-win with a partner who shares the same population, that partnership's 20 years strong.
Love that. And it's not going anywhere anytime.
It's not going anywhere, I hope.
Awesome. Lisa, I consider you and I consider myself and my peers pretty successful people, but I think that success is measured in so many different ways. How do you measure success?
I love that you asked that because I'm around a lot of people that consider themselves to be successful. And what I mean by that is I'm in a variety of entrepreneur groups and CEO groups where I am with what you would consider to be very successful. They have multi-million-dollar businesses and they have big homes and fancy cars. But when I look at some of these people, I don't consider them to be successful because all they have is their work and their income. And they have let their health decline. They have let their relationships decline. And so for me, I do a wheel of life activity multiple times a year. And you've done it with Tony Robbins, and Zig Ziglar is the one who I think created it. So you look at all aspects of your life. You look at your finance, you look at your health, you look at your fun, you look at your friends. Different wheels have some of the different spokes, your relationships. To me, success is thinking about that I am healthy in all of these aspects of my wheel, not just one. I think about a wheel should be round, right? So if you have one area that is really a bad deficit, you're going to crash. That wheel's not going to spin. So to me, success is just making sure that you're taking care of all facets of your life. That's success to me.
I love that. I definitely share very similar morals and have plenty of peers that are successful in ways that I don't find it successful. When you haven't got this smile every day, it's a different thing. I love this question. I've been asking it recently and the answers are just incredible. If you were to have dinner with a historical figure from the past or present, who would it be and why?
Just one? Wow. I got to go with Dalai Lama.
Awesome.
I'm just always working to, I've not achieved it yet, but I'm always working to achieve inner peace and non-judgment. And we live in a world right now, more than ever, that is so divisive. And tolerance is a very high value for me. And so I get upset when certain people don't tolerate different populations and different things. But I also realize it's also my own tolerance. That means I'm not tolerating it. So figuring out that piece from within myself and how to model it, it's a long answer to, I don't know, I hope that energy would rub off on me a little bit.
That's awesome. If you get a +1, I'd love to be there.
Okay.
I think that your team and at least yourself would consider you a good leader. Why would you call yourself a good leader?
I don't know that I've always been a good leader. Maybe that's what makes me a good leader, is that I'm aware of that. I have always had a heart to be a good leader. And so I've always had a commitment that if I take care of my people, my team, they take care of their people, our clients. And so again, it comes to that definition of success. One of my definitions of success for the business is that I want Fit4Mom to be one of the best companies in the world to work for. I want my team members to love their work. And I think you love your work from, yes, culture. I think culture is super important. We focus on culture as much as strategy, but also growth and opportunity. I've had a lot of very junior people who have joined Fit4Mom. Like, we've grown our team a lot. And what I mean by that is here's the ecosystem of Fit4Mom. Clients become instructors become franchisees, and franchisees often become home office members. But that means they maybe don't have a lot of outside experience in the fitness industry or the franchise industry. I think that's okay, because that can be learned. So we do as much as we can to continue to educate our franchisees and our team members. And so growth is a pretty high value for us at Fit4Mom. So I'd like to think those are the things that make me a good leader. I mean, just caring about your team, and I mean, people over profits, that you don't just care about the bottom line, but you care about the culture and the team. I think that that's what makes you a good leader. And I think that I am committed every single day to improving as a leader. So not a day goes by that I don't listen to a podcast or a book or go to a conference or an event to keep growing myself as a leader. So the leader I am today is 10 times better than the one I was a year ago. Next year, I should be 10 times better than I am today. So I continue to grow.
Invest in yourself and it pays off.
Yep.
It's awesome. So speaking of investing in yourself, I'd love to know what your morning routine looks like and how it enables you to stay motivated even in the most challenging times.
Do you ask everyone this? I should know, because I'm sorry. This is one of my favorite questions. This is why I get so excited. I'm obsessed with my morning ritual. I so believe that a morning routine, a morning ritual can change your life. There's a great book called Magical Morning. There's another great book called The 6 a.m. Club, I think, or 5 a.m. Club, might be 5 a.m. Club. Fact check me on that one. Both great books. But my morning ritual has evolved over the years. I'm a mom, so now my kids are grown, so I have way more time for it than I used to. Used to be short and abbreviated. What it looks like now is I get up at 5 a.m. Coffee is first. I drink my water, but then coffee is first. I have a journaling ritual that has really evolved. In fact, it is very much the topic of my next book that's coming out. So it's a combination of free writing, answering powerful questions, doing gratitude. And it's like a listing of gratitude, not just like top 3 things of gratitude. Really looking at like, what did I learn from yesterday, and taking that. And then I have this crazy system of tracking. So like literally, I track all kinds of things from my vitamins to my alcohol intake and exercise and meditation. And it's amazing because I'm a data person. I'm a CEO and data doesn't lie. So you start to see that when you are not meditating or you're not doing some of these things, how your numbers go down. And after I'm done with that, then I do meditate. I've done a variety of different kinds of meditation over the years. Such great apps out there. Insight Timer is one of my favorite ones. But most of the time I do transcendental meditation. And then from there, I work out and I walk the dogs. And when I walk the dogs, every single day when I walk the dogs, I'm listening to a book or podcast.
And that's why you're successful.
And I don't check email or anything. I don't check email or Slack until all of that is done.
How long does that typically take you?
I mean, because don't forget, that first part of the routine is only half an hour, but exercise is an hour and then 20 minutes to walk the dog. So it's a couple hours. From like 5 to 7 is my morning routine.
Love that. It's awesome. Clearly it's working.
It does, and then I got one more thing to add. Sorry, I hope we don't have a time limit.
You're good.
The beginning of my day, so when my workday starts around 8:00, I have a workday startup ritual. And so I don't book myself at 8:00 for meetings. From 8 to 8:30 is my workday startup ritual. And that is a combination of just checking what are my 3 MITs, quick skimming of the email, quick skimming, you know what I mean? So like I go in the day feeling ready and not feeling rushed and behind. So that part's important too.
That's awesome. So anybody that's trying to get a hold of Lisa, 8:30 Pacific plus.
Yeah. I block it.
So it sounds like you're an avid reader like myself.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear from you. What books are you currently reading that you would recommend and or like the absolute must reads for personal or business development?
Wow. I mean, I could list, I'm like looking next to me. I mean, it's like so many good ones. And it just kind of depends on this is just like what's happening right now.
For those of you listening, Lisa has books all up in her hand.
Right now, my team is reading Radical Candor. This book is excellent. And we're tackling a chapter a week and having conversations. So this is with my leadership team. Such a good book. I've also got The Power of Positive Team and Patrick Lencioni's The Ideal Team Player. If you're looking to scale your business, I'm a huge advocate of Traction by Gino Wickman. The other one that I have not cracked, because remember, it's not my strength, but is called Process. I have not cracked it, but it's supposed to be really good. And I do believe processes are important. But as far as personal development and like life-changing books, there's so many, but I'd say The Slight Edge is one of them. Like I literally told my kids I'd pay them $100 to read The Slight Edge because I believed that if I could let this sink in, it was going to be so valuable to them. So yeah, lots of good ones.
That's awesome. Lisa, I'm going to ask you one more, and it's in regards to growth that the company's seen. So obviously we're in 2023 and all fitness brands have had quite the shift over the last 5 years. What has been the most major shift that Fit4MOM has had to make in the last 5 years, and what really caused it, and how did you come out on top after?
Gosh, I would imagine we're all answering this question pretty similarly. I've been in business for 22 years, and the pandemic has been the hardest 3 years of the history of our company. And what has surprised us and that we weren't expecting is that the last year has actually been the hardest. Because the first year, everybody's like, okay, we're in this together and it's hard, but like, we're huddled up like a team and we can do this. And then the second year, we were all bright and believing it's going to change and get better. And then the third year, people were exhausted and burned out. And you have to realize that all of my franchisees are moms, and caretakers were the ones who took the brunt of it and were the most burned out. So the fitness industry has been hurt a lot by the pandemic, not just Fit4MOM. I speak to so many fitness franchises and people are like, we're still down by 30% pre-pandemic. That number, 30 to 40%, is seeming real consistent from what I'm hearing. So that is still the case for us. So before the pandemic, we had 320 franchisees. We now have 220. There's a very big difference. And again, you think about the ecosystem, that means less franchises, mean less instructors, mean less clients. So it has a big ripple effect. Change, what's happening now. I mean, we do see it coming back, but you had to switch gears a little bit. And so some of the things that we did to switch gears, again, like so many fitness companies, one was we created Fit4Mom on demand. So there are now ways to do the workouts online. And we made that free to the franchisees to bundle to their members. So if you're a Fit4Mom member, you can do it for free. And so the nice thing is that a lot of people, even if we are post-pandemic, still don't want to go back to work out in person or not as much. So it's nice for them to have that opportunity. The other change is before we had so many years behind us and such a big population who had been with us for a long time that we were able to add a lot of our extra programs. But now we're very much back to foundation. It's almost like ground zero going, nope, start how we started. Go back to stroller strides, build that population, create raving fans. So those raving fans become raving instructors, and those raving instructors become raving franchisees. And that's how you add more programs. So it's kind of, for some people, it's a big ego hit to go, well, I was making this much money and now I'm making this. You did it before, you can do it again, but you got to start back at the beginning.
Go back to the basics.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Lisa, from myself, our listeners, thanks for being you and coming on and sharing these awesome tips and tricks, and for this journey that's a forever roller coaster.
Thanks for being you, Carl.
And everybody that hasn't heard it enough yet, FIT4MOM.com. Connect with Lisa on LinkedIn. Is that a good place?
Yeah, actually, I'm on Instagram and Facebook way more than LinkedIn. So it's Lisa Druxman on both of those, and Fit4Mom on the rest. And if you're wanting to hit our home office, make sure you do Fit4Mom HQ, because there's thousands of Fit4Mom locations. And I know you probably have a wrap up, but I'm going to give you my wrap up, because every Fit4Mom class ends the same way. All right. Final and most important stretch, your smile.
That's awesome. Well, we got that one down pat. Thanks again, Lisa, and we will stay tuned.
Thanks, Carl.
Thank you so much. That's it for this week's episode. I hope you found it helpful. Be sure to head over to our site, local-business-hacks.com, to check out the show notes and send me questions or ideas for future episodes. If you want to grow your business, just like the people you've heard from here, follow Local Business Hacks Podcast and tune in for new tips, tricks, and tactics. Until next time, thanks for listening and keep hacking.